If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please consider hitting the like button. It really does help the video out, even if I don't deserve it because I'm terrible at video games. And if you want to follow me on Twitter for absolutely no reason, the link for that is down below. And if you do need any coins, head over to u7buystore.com. Use the code TVM at checkout for a discount. The link is in the description. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to a brand new video. What you're seeing in front of you is the end of season recap. I did it off camera. I'm going to talk you through it a little bit here or there, where relevant, and then we'll dive into the brand new season. Matthew Andrews was the best signing of the window. I could have told you that without even looking at it, because he was a fantastic fullback. He's going to remain in the team if I remain at the club going forward. But that is something that we'll have to have a look at in just a second. So goal of the season went to Bratley against Swansea Uni. The match to remember apparently was the 4-1 cup win at the very start of the season against Undy, which, I mean, of all the games to choose, I think it was the first game I played competitive. But either way, the team that they've chosen is basically the team that we've used the entire way through. Brown in the middle is the only player that I haven't been using because he left. And we replaced him with Reese, but apart from that, it's essentially the same. We finished top of the tree, 3 points clear. I think I actually lost my last game of the season, or drew it, I can't remember. Either way, it wasn't eventful, and we'd already won the league, so I didn't really care. I was just playing some of the players who I knew were going to be leaving, and there we are. New points tally last season, 22. I mean, to be fair, last season it didn't finish, the league. It was a write-off due to COVID, I think, memory serves. So obviously that doesn't really count. Going forward, the board would like me to fight bravely against relegation in the top flight, which I'm all for. I don't want to be, setting out goals above my station. This went badly, and I don't know what I said to them, but I don't feel like I said anything that isn't realistic. I believe what I said was, we look to fight against relegation or survive next season or something. I just tried to read it then. I didn't read it quick enough. But I was then trying to backpedal and be like, oh, please don't hate me, because obviously if we go into a new season with low morale, the amount of defeats we're going to take anyway is going to be really difficult for me to ever win them round. A lot of them won't be here next season, obviously, if I remain at the club. We're going to look to try and, cut out an awful lot of the dead wood and bring in some new fresh faces, because we do have a lot of money to spend in terms of wages for this level. So, yeah, I was trying to backtrack. I managed to kind of do damage limitation. They're not 100% happy, but it is what it is. Flicking through these few things, Tom Meachin, what did he win? Was it Player of the Season or Top Goal Scorer award? Kyle Kopp was a player that I looked at. On paper, not particularly very good, but every time we played against Llanelli, he was the best player. I think we played them 3 times, and he was their best player on 3 of those occasions. So I did look to sign him, but in the end, I didn't actually even attempt it. Finances are dire. We are struggling big time. Regardless of whether we finished as champions or not, money is going to be a problem going forward, because there is a very strong chance they retain transfer fees and things, which is fine because we don't really get any. But on top of that, they may end up reducing the wage bill. Kyle Kopp, as you can see, just behind Tom Meachin. I say just 10 goals behind him. Meachin finished second highest average rating. Matt Brown, our right wing, finished on 18 assists. Closest was Liam Walsh of Britain Ferry with 9. And Tom Meachin, player of the matches, he got 8, which was 1 behind George Priest of Swansea Uni. And James Reese manages to make it onto the yellow card standings in 3rd place with 11, although technically joint 2nd with Josh Blair. Goalkeeper, absolutely nowhere near the clean sheet. We're going to have a look at the team detailed stats very quickly. I don't want to spend too long on this stuff. I was curious to know when looking through this where we were with regards to things like crosses and corners. Interestingly enough, though, average possession, we battered everybody. 61% average possession is insane. Even with this system, yes, we do keep the ball, but we're not really meant to keep the ball that much. It's meant to be around the 50-55% mark. To get 61% at the end of the season with an 89% pass accuracy, and yeah, I mean, what was it, 14,500 accurate passes? or passes completed, which is fantastic. We, as you can see on the left, have the highest expected goals per game and we scored more goals than anyone else this season. Most crosses completed and the highest cross completion percentage as well, by some distance, I might add. We scored 6 goals from corners, which is absolutely nowhere near where I would like it to be. When I was at Brentford, I'm not going to compare Brentford because it's obviously the only save you've ever seen me do. This year anyway. I think I was finishing like 18 to 20 goals from corners, so we'd like to bump that up by an extra 5 to 10 if possible. But the question you have is, of course, am I going to go and find another club, or am I still the manager of Cwmbran Celtic? The answer is yes. Yes, I am still manager of Cwmbran Celtic. Talk through that in a second. First 2 games of the season have gone particularly well. You can see we sit at top of the table. We beat Haverfordwest 6-0. We beat Bangor 1-0. I hate the word Bangor because I can't say it in an English accent. It's impossible. 7 goals scored, 0 against. We've done really well not to concede. We do have a new centre-back. Do have a new striker, new winger, new left-back. The team has changed a fair bit, but we haven't really spent crazy amounts of money. If we look at the finances, we were spending a little shy of £400 a week. We have bumped it up to 1.2, which is actually a considerable spend, but haven't gone too crazy. Finances at this club are, they're in the bin. My fault, I think. The reason the club actually got out of debt because the chairman put money into the club. He put 20 grand in. I kind of spent it on scouting budget. I'm pretty sure it was my fault, because I couldn't find any centre-backs. And I then went into scouting and player search. And here we have no package right now, but I did go to the Welsh package, which covers players in that nation. But it spends 18,000. Like if I click this, it says the total cost of the package will be 7.25 for the year. Monthly deductions from the scouting budget will be 600. Okay, so maybe... No, I don't want to do that. Maybe I didn't spend all their money, and for some reason we are hemorrhaging it somewhere else. I've got no idea how the money just keeps depleting, but it probably is my fault. I just don't know how. Anyway, I don't know what I was saying. Finances are terrible. They're in the bin. We smashed Haverfordwest away from home. They're newly promoted. They went unbeaten last year. We beat them 1-0. It wasn't a convincing performance by any stretch of the imagination, but on the other hand, we didn't really look like we were going to concede. Haverfordwest were lucky not to have about 12 put past them. They were absolutely horrific. I think they had an XG of 0.03 or something stupid, so their shot came from the halfway line. In terms of transfers, it's not really as big a deal this lower down. As you can see, no one left, which is a lie. Everybody left before this season technically started, because none of them, the players that left, were on wage. They all just went, and they went before the transfer window started, so it doesn't count as anything this season. We've brought all these players in. Not all of them are going to be first team. In fact, Rhys McGrath from Trevellyn. Nope, wrong one. Who is he? This guy, Luke Boundford. 16-year-old goalkeeper who, to be fair, looks alright. Good rushing out. Reflexes are good. Handling's not bad. Good determination, aggression. For a 16-year-old, he's actually pretty decent. I signed him as a backup goalkeeper because, is it Warren Evans? He left. Gone. So I bought him as a backup keeper. Forgot that I had him because he went straight into the under-19s, and I forgot that he was a thing. And then bought another goalkeeper by the name of Rory Crowther, who is actually, in my opinion, a better goalkeeper because he's got really good positioning. Obviously, fitness is decent if you need that as a goalkeeper, but good reflexes and all the rest of it. I think he's a better keeper. I don't think he's quite as good as Perry, who our main number one is at the moment, so he will be... He will play, but not that much. What happened? Stefan Edwards, I brought him in to cover the left-back spot. He's not particularly very good. He has had to play once already. He's not on a wage, no contract. I think he's on like a £1 appearance fee or something really low and stupid. But he just loves the game, so he wants to play. But I thought his passing was quite decent. and he can defend. So if I actually need a fullback who knows how to tackle, we can bring on Stefan Edwards. My current left back, who, by the way, I had to buy a new one, and he's not there, so we have to go back to last season. Kieran Evans is my new left back. Reason being, Ward, who was my previous left back, had to retire because he was 44 years of age and decided to give it up. But Kieran Evans, who could play the entire left-hand side, is only going to play as a left back. He joined the club, had a terrible training session, stats went down. I had a word with him. He then, the next week, became the best training player, and some stats have gone up. I've had that with about 4 different players, and not all of them are new signings. It's a little bit crazy. Like, every single week I will praise the person who does well in training, but I tend to not criticise anyone because I don't want to lower their morale. I've started doing a bit of a Jurgen Klopp, and I've been going in to criticise, but I've been putting my arm around them. It says put arm around or put arm on shoulder or something. I've clicked that and then give them criticism. So it's kind of like, hey buddy, you're shit. So yeah, it works, but some things are going down, some things are going up. I mean, I don't need his finishing to go up, so that's frustrating. The other things are kind of useful, I suppose. I would prefer it if his defending was on the way up and not down, but there we are. He was brought in, again, he's not on any money. He's done all right so far. I think he could be decent for the season. I think we brought him in January. Let's go back to the current ones. So Ben Swallow, yes, he does. He's not bad, actually. Again, he's going to play on the left-hand side instead of Bratley. Bratley will play, but they're going to share the role. He is on £190 a week, which is one of, if not our most expensive player. He's 32 years of age. But that crossing, those corners, that dribbling, it's going to be useful to have that player putting balls into the area. He has played twice with absolutely no goal contributions. He used to play for Newport County back in 2012. Scored twice in 20 games. Claim to fame. Who else? Anyone? Oh, Nick Grogan. Right, so we can get on to the 2 main signings of this window then. Nick Grogan is the centre-back. He was one of the only centre-backs willing to come to us, and he was the only one that I would have considered signing. Honestly, if I hadn't signed this kid, I wouldn't have got one. We would not have had a centre-back. We would have just had to deal with John and Millwood at the back. Millwood's actually not as good as I thought he was. The only reason why he's good and I've got him in there is because he knows how to head the ball. Nick Grogan, who has scored already, I might add, not from a corner. There's a lovely bit of football actually from Meechan, who headed it back across goal from a cross, and Nick Grogan arrived late into the penalty area and he was there to head it home. He's got 16 jumping reach, 15 tackling, and he's not particularly slow either. And he's 18 with a little bit of room to improve. I can't imagine he's ever going to be good enough to be, you know, higher than the Welsh League, maybe the conference in England or something. But, I mean, for us, he's going to do a good job, and we haven't conceded yet, so I'm going to hold him responsible for the majority of it. But the reason we may very well not be drawn into a relegation battle this season is our brand new striker, Brandon Griffiths. A lot of people, again, one of those who was training badly. Look at the state of it, though. He's like... If I could hand-pick things that were going up and going down, we wouldn't be in this mess. But at least his finishing's on the way up. He was training badly when he first joined. He had a bit of a knock in a friendly that saw him out for 2 games. He came back. I criticised his training. He then was one of the top performers. He wasn't the top performer, but he's one of the top performers. And then he started scoring goals in the league. He's got 3 goals in 2 games with 2 assists and 1 Man of the Match award. He used to play for Swansea once upon a time. Never actually played for them. Then went to Ronse in the Belgian league after about a 3-year gap of nothing, which is a bit weird. Didn't do anything there. Came back to Barry, scored twice for them. Now he plays for us, and he scored more goals for us than he has for anyone else and everyone else combined. Same with assists. So quite pleasing. But yeah, not really sure what's happening with his stats, but we'll see how it levels off. But the team looks like this. It's not massive difference. Griffiths wanted to be an advanced forward, so I've kind of put the advanced forward on the left. The pressing forward on the right. Michin is the pressing forward. He's declining all over the place, which is a shame. I don't really know why either, because he's not training terribly. He hasn't been injured. Yes, he's 31, but he shouldn't be declining because his natural fitness is okay. So it is a bit of a shame that he is declining. I really hope that he doesn't drop off. He's got 1 goal, 2 assists for us so far this season, probably against Haverfordwest. McGrath will play in the middle, generally, instead of Sam Thomas, who is the 17-year-old now, my bad, who can't pass, which is why he's sort of dropped off a little bit for me. But he's on massive money. Oh, no, he's not 20. I thought it was like 220. I was like, what? But there we go. That's the start of the season. I mean, you'll become accustomed to the players, I'm sure. But one of the reasons why I'm not really going through the players in any great detail is because it's exactly the same situation in this league as it is in the second tier. Players can join us, play 1 game, and then bugger off to another club. It makes no difference whether we know them or not. We need to try and keep them. We do have the money to offer more incentive in terms of contract and what have you. But, yeah, people can just use us as a revolving door. TNS have played 1 game. They won 5 goals to 2, if memory serves. They are the team to look out for in this league. I'm not expecting to stay here. And I know I said that last season, and we did. We stayed there the entire season and we won the league. We are absolutely not going to win the league. There is no way. There is no chance. And that's not me trying to be negative, and it's not me trying to moan it into existence. It will not happen. I have been told against Aberystwyth to go cautious, but that's because we're favourites to get relegated. They don't know the power we possess. I've said that. I'm about to get slapped 4-0. But we're off the back of a 6-0 win. We've scored 7. We haven't conceded. We probably will concede in this game because, like I said, this is our first real... They've got a player called Raoul as well. That's worrying. But, yeah, this is our first real test, I would say. Haverfordwest were a test. That rhymed. To see whether we can stay up. And I think we're going to be... Easily, we're going to stay up. It's just... Oh, this is a cup game. But either way... I didn't even realise this was a cup game, but either way, Aberystwyth is still a good side, so this is going to still be a test. I would have played this team regardless of whether it's the cup or not. I would like to have a decent little cup run. I'm not going to necessarily prioritise the league over the cup. It's a bit of a shame that I'm actually showing you a cup game, not a league game, but it's against a team that are in the same... They're actually second in the league, so kind of makes sense. John was a player I considered changing this season, but honestly, the centre-back options were sparse, to say the least. Brandon Griffiths continues his goal-scoring form. We are 1-0 up. If we can dispatch Aberystwyth quite comfortably, I'm telling you what, top half is not unrealistic. I don't want to hear anyone, that was terrible goalkeeping, I don't want to hear anyone suggest the title, because it is not going to happen. Like I said, I've played at this level a lot in Football Manager over the years, and winning the league and dislodging TNS at the top is a project and a half. Meechan nods it back. Reese is there. Doesn't score many, but when he does, they tend to be those type of efforts. I was, again, looking for a central midfield player to maybe replace Reese. Unfortunately, our scouting package and our I don't know, appeal, I guess, it just isn't there. You know, a newly promoted team into the first tier of Welsh football doesn't really scream success. So I can understand why no one really wanted to join us. But, you know, we're recruited as well as I can do. Greeny with a free kick. Oh, was it a save or just off the bar? Off the bar, very, very close. Good effort. I'm really hoping that we can, I don't know, get maybe 12, 15 points from our first set of games. And kind of just put myself at ease, really, because I think 31 points last year was the amount that the highest points tally got relegated. Haverfordwest finished on 31, but they survived on goal difference. So if we can get to 30, 35 points as fast as possible, there he is again. He's not necessarily good in the air, actually, but scores. 42 minutes in, 3-0 up against second in the league. It is a cup game, but still, I can't imagine there's much rotation going on from Aberystwyth. Brown, top assister last season, of course, gets another one there. That goalkeeper is absolutely horrific. Speaking of goalkeepers, I kind of wish I'd started my sub-keeper. Should have paid attention. I've been on the phone all day, by the way. And I've lost my mind. I've got no idea what's going on. I don't know what the time is. I don't know where I am. It is a shambles. But 3-0 up, ball played forward, and we have been brought back down to earth. No, we haven't. Morgan Jones is offside. Check your lines, my friend. Their manager over there then was going wild. He could not believe they'd scored. Llanelli are 3-0 up. Kopp with 3 goals. What a player. I don't think Kopp would be very good in this division, though. I did think about signing him, but I looked at his stats and he just didn't really scream quality. We've scored. John knocks it in. Swallow with a corner. Grogan, who is very good in the air, jumping reach-wise, wins the header. That's why he's at the near post. But what a statement this is. 4-0. I am very happy. Sam Thomas can come on instead of McGrath. He's got a yellow card. And does anyone really need to come off? Andrews could do with coming off, but I don't have a right back on the bench. Slight problem. Does it matter at this point? Anyone will do. Matt Brown come off? Nope. Hoven for Reese it is, because I don't have... See, in the league you're allowed 7 subs, like on the bench. Obviously you can only make 3, but you're allowed 7 choices. In the cup you're only allowed 5, which doesn't make any sense. But had I known that this was a cup game, I would have organised it a little bit better. Ball comes out to Bratley, newly on as a sub. Here's Evans with a ball in. He's the new left back, of course. Comes out to Rounsfell. Assuming he's not Welsh, because if he is, that's not how you say it. But it doesn't make any sense if he is Welsh, because that name doesn't make any sense. Rounsfell? Nope, doesn't make any sense. Jenkins on the edge, back to Jones. I feel a goal coming for Aberystwyth, to be fair. Not that I reckon they deserve it, although this is a good passage of play. Very patient build-up. A little bit boring now, to be honest, more than patient. We can't get anywhere near them. Ball looped over the top to Jenkins. All he needs to do is cross it in, and there it is for a goal. I mean, in the end, it was decent, but it did start to send me to sleep a little bit. We're not going to watch that again. Let me praise the boys for being 4-1 up against second in the league, in the cup. Can't believe I've shown you a cup game. I do apologise, but that's the kind of level you can expect in the Welsh Cup. There we go. I'm on the touchline, screaming for success, and we get it. 4-1. You've seen our new striker. Griffiths is going to be the difference this season if we are to finish comfortably outside of the relegation zone. And here it is again. Here it is. That's why he's, again, I criticised him the other week. Put arm around. I don't think you've been training very well recently. You're right. I've not been good enough. I'll improve. And that's what happens. Next week, he'll be in here somewhere. Matthew Andrews, by the way, is one of the better performers in training. He performs, and I don't know why he's declining, but he performs every single week to a really high standard. And yeah, fantastic. So there we are. We've won the second round. We were only predicted, or... Oh no, this is the MG Cup, actually. So they only wanted us to reach the first round minimum, and I'm pretty sure that we got given a bye into the second round, so we didn't really need to play at all. We don't play the JD Welsh Cup, which we're expected to get to the second round for another 70 days, so it's just over 2 months. And we go back into the league in just a second against Cardiff Met Uni, who, as the title suggests, are a university. How are they doing? They are 5th. They've won 1, they've lost 1. They beat Barry, and they lost against Aberystwyth, who we have just absolutely dismantled. So that should be interesting. But after I praise Griffiths for a job well done, after I've just criticised him for not being good enough in training, I'm going to call it a day. I'm a little bit disappointed that you've just seen a cup game, but had I had eyes in my head, then maybe that wouldn't have happened. But very pleased with the way the season started. When we come back, it will be considerably further along. Yeah, you've guessed it. We're going to come back for TNS. I may very well come back for Aberystwyth and TNS, so I'm not going to skip too many games, actually. TNS and Bala, or Aberystwyth and TNS, I'm not quite sure, but one of them we will come back for. But that one is going to be the constant. We're going to test our mettle against the best Wales has to offer, who are based in England. If you have enjoyed this episode of the FM Road to Glory, I always forget because it's so unnatural to say that, then do me a favour and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.
you.